Welcome to today's First Five. Tomorrow in the UK, there will be elections, and basically Brexit is on the ballot yet again. UK voters tried several times to tell their government, yes, we really do want the England, UK, to withdraw from the European Union, but establishment folks of all types in their legislature, in the lower House of Commons, and especially House of Lords, are fighting the will of the people. They don't want to listen to the people who said, yes, we want to exit the European Union. Well, tomorrow there's yet another set of elections, and Boris Johnson, who is his hair even kind of looks a little bit like Trump, but he is the conservative over there, and he's been trying to carry forth the will of the people and say, yes, the people voted for Brexit, they want to get out of the European Union, and we, the elected officials, should follow through. But every effort to withdraw from the European Union is actually stalled by establishment people, much like things that happen in America. So tomorrow this election is happening. But in the UK, there are, just like they're everywhere, there are liberal rags. There are left-leaning newspapers that are kind of like, I call it in America, the Democrat media mob. In England, they have similar media who lock arms with the leftists over there to message to the people, to control the narrative, to carry forth the agenda the leftists want. So The Guardian, which is a left-wing newspaper in the UK, has reported there's been a 5-year ongoing study, secret study inside the UK related to alleged Russian interference in the United Kingdom. Russian interference in the United Kingdom, claiming that the Russians are somehow orchestrating around the leadership of the conservatives in England, that Russia's really responsible, getting around to the idea they're accusing Boris Johnson of being a Russian plant. I mean, the absurdity could drive you it's just impossible to describe the level of absurdity. But even more so, when you understand one of the players involved in the UK in this 5-year report and developing this 5-year report is none other than Christopher Steele. And if you're recognizing that name, he is the key character in America in our battle where we had alleged Russian interference in the American elections. He's trying to back away and say he's not the author of the Steele dossier, but he's the one who was hired by, through Hillary Clinton and the Democrat National Committee to Perkins Coie Law Firm to Fusion GPS. Ultimately, 5 layers through, Hillary hired Christopher Steele to make up stuff about Donald Trump in Russia during the 2016 elections, trying to discredit him in some way. So Christopher Steele, having submitted what we now know not only was a false Russian dossier, but through the power of Hillary and other leftists, that dossier, that piece of fiction created by Christopher Steele, which he's now saying, I didn't write it, somebody else wrote it, made its way all the way to the highest echelons of the FBI and was used to get the FISA court to issue warrants during the Obama administration. So Obama's administration, his executive branch, his FBI, his CIA, his DOJ, those folks used the dossier to justify spying on the Obama administration's political enemy, Donald Trump. So back to the UK elections tomorrow. There is an effort to get this 5-year secret report released, and they're saying we're not ready to release it. We're not too sure about it here, but it is again making the accusation. The Guardian, the left wing, think of them like the New York Times or Washington Post. The Guardian is trying to say that this 5-year study of Russian influence is going to show that Russians are controlling the conservatives over there, and Boris Johnson may be a Russian plant, and none other than Hillary Clinton, whose hands are filthy dirty in the entire Trump-Russia collusion hoax here in America, has weighed in opining, in talking, in public, giving statements about how wrong it is that in the UK they simply cannot get this report released to the public in time so the public can know all of this terrible information. She has I don't want to read her quotes and give her credit. I'm just going to tell you that Hillary's in the middle of all this. I'm going to close this first 5 by saying this. What really is behind, at the deepest level, what is behind the battle in this election tomorrow in the UK what is the battle in America in 2020, in our elections in 2020, is the battle of the leftist, socialist, globalist wing of political thought in the world, and those people who still love freedom, who still believe in the idea of America, who believe that America matters, or in the case of UK, believe that the UK matters. What Hillary and the leftists in the UK really deplore is that the UK, the citizens of the UK, have said, we don't want to be part of this globalist, socialist, big government controlled mentality that is the European Union. We want to reassert the identity of England, the identity of the UK, our nation, our history, our culture, our laws, our system. They're standing up for the identity of a free country. In the same way in America, President Trump is standing up for the identity of America, the unique, extraordinary, important identity of America. Leftists like Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele, and many others involved in the Trump-Russia collusion are making the same argument in the UK. What they really hate, what the leftists like Hillary and Christopher Steele really hate, is that there are people who actually want to reassert the importance, the identity, the individuality of individual countries. It's not racist. It's not xenophobic. It is simply understanding that values shape countries. Values create countries. Surrender to the socialist globalist agenda is entirely the mission of the American left. It is the mission that Boris Johnson is fighting against. It's the same mission in America that President Trump is fighting against. In both cases, President Trump and Boris Johnson are celebrating, they are encouraging the resurgence of love of their country. And that's what's on the ballot tomorrow in the UK, December 12th, and in our elections in 2020. And for a teaser for tomorrow, I'll tell you that tomorrow joining us on the show is George Farmer. He was a candidate for, he's a fabulous British man. He is a gentleman who did run for a seat on the European Union, but it was to represent the Brexit party, the party that wanted to pull out of the European Union. He happens also to be married to Candace Owens, so that's pretty fun too. He's joining us tomorrow to talk about the elections in the UK. And that, my friends, is today's First Five.